The Sweet Sound of Success show is brought to you by the Mentor Studio. The Mentor Studio is an exclusive mentoring and training program for social influencers, business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, and startups, bringing personal development to the underserved around the world. And brought to you by Success Strategists. Simple strategies that work to develop your business with flow and ease using proven strategies and the right tactics. This is the Sweet Sound of Success with Sue Wilhite, Success Attraction Expert. An award-winning New York director and producer of online videos, documentary films, and not-for-profit videos, Mary Scott has come out from behind the camera. She spent over 30 years making contacts and observing the world, and now uses that experience and insight to help hundreds of startups find exactly what they need to succeed faster. She compiled the Startup Resources Guide for St. Louis and is the team leader at 1 Million Cups. She brings her unique approach and experience to help businesses invent, create new ideas and processes, and to find the right resources to change the world and take humanity to the stars. Welcome, Mary Scott.
Thank you so much, Sue. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, well, I'm so glad we finally connected. We've been on each other's lists.
We have.
Together, and we finally made it. So this series, this show, is subtitled The Hero's Journey for the Entrepreneur's Soul. And the hero's journey is not necessarily, I keep finding this out, not everybody knows what that is. It's bizarre to me because I'm a Joseph Campbell nerd, and I love the hero's journey. I used to teach from it. And so for those of you who don't know, Joseph Campbell developed his sort of story arc of what people's journeys were in story, and it turns out to be pretty applicable to real life. And this is a 16-element cycle of which I'm pulling out 5 pieces because we're not going to talk about all 16. And not everybody has all 16, but these 5 are common to pretty much everybody, and they're really relevant to entrepreneurs. And I just, after more than 70 shows, I'm totally in absolute knowing of this. So the 5 pieces that we're going to talk about are the ordinary beginning, the call to action. What prompted you to even do this? The big hairy monsters, which are sometimes a little bit intertwined in that call to action. And then the pieces that are really important for entrepreneurs: allies, guides, mentors, coaches, cheerleaders, those folks who help you, pick you up when you've fallen down, push you when you're hesitating, and guide you along the right paths. You can't do it without them. I'm sorry, nobody does it by themselves. Ain't happening. I harp on this every time. And then finally, there's the other folks. Joseph Campbell calls it the journey home, which I just think is hilarious because not everybody's home life is particularly great. And sometimes it's that profit is not respected in their hometown kind of thing. And there's folks who might be in your life that you encounter who go, why are you doing this? And do you know that you're going to fail? And are you crazy? And how do you spell that? So it's sometimes tricky to deal with those folks. And I love to hear stories about strategies for dealing with it. So Mary Scott, what was your ordinary beginning?
Well, my ordinary beginning was my mom was a reporter. I like to say my mom was Lois Lane. And I never decided to, because she worked for a big metropolitan newspaper during the war.
Nice.
But she gave it all up to become a wife and mother.
Mm.
And I didn't really think about going that route at all. I wanted to be a translator for the UN.
Wow. Well, there's an unusual ambition.
But, so yeah, I was learning foreign languages in high school and stuff like that. But life takes turns. And I ended up doing storytelling.
Wow. Wow. So when you got the call to action, or maybe it was more of a revelation, oh, by the way, this is what I'm doing.
Well, what happened was I had gotten a master's degree in health administration, and I must have sent out a stack of resumes that was like this high. And there were just no job openings at the time. So I'm sitting on the couch watching Sesame Street with my kids, who are very small. And my husband walks in, and he's a cameraman at a big TV station in New York. And he says, I love shooting, but I hate my company. So I said, well, I can do that. He said, prove it. So a local band needed a music video. I wrote it, produced it, directed it. He shot it. We edited it together because I made the decisions, but I was learning equipment. A lot of my decisions he didn't understand, but this music video got on MTV. So he says, I guess you can do that.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was off and running workshops in Maine to do video production for the non-producers. I was one of the early adopters of the Video Toaster Flyer, and we were off and running.
There you go.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Another skill set thing. This was the first time I was using a mouse with a computer.
Right.
And somebody had written an article about if you've never used a mouse, learn to use it left-handed because you can type with the right, mouse with the left. It opens up that whole aspect of your brain.
Right.
Who knew? Right?
Oh,
So all of a sudden, I'm an artist now too.
oh man, I wish somebody had taught me that way back when.
You just
Dang.
some
Right.
path crosses your path, and you
It makes
need to
so
be,
much sense.
you need to be open-eyed. You need to be ready to say yes to something unusual that crosses your path unexpectedly.
Right. Right. So what were some of the big hairy monsters that you got to play with?
Oh, big hairy monsters. Come on, a girl in video? Please. Oh, and is that what you do? I think my kid can shoot my video for me,
Oh, right.
right? They don't understand that they're paying for this, not
Right.
this.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. I know people who, when asked to videotape something, would end up videotaping everybody's knees because they're just completely
Yeah.
clueless.
Yeah. I
Because
mean, I
they
had
wanna watch
taken
the
enough
action.
art history courses that I knew something about composition.
Right.
And I had watched enough television that I knew what worked and what didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So there was a lot of resistance to, first of all, a woman doing it. Second of all, doing it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because, paying somebody for their skills and experience, oh, what a concept, to do it. Yes, absolutely. What a silly thing. But we see it all the time in the arts, right? Is we can do this better. No, you can't, honestly.
Yeah. So, but success is like Woody Allen says, 95% of it is showing up. So
Yeah.
if you stick to it and you keep going.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So who were some of the folks that kept you going?
Well, my husband was my biggest fan. So when things got tough, he would encourage me. And, sometimes a girlfriend could take care of kids for me while I was doing stuff. And then I would reciprocate with her kids when she was doing stuff. So there are always people that you need in your life. And you need to be able to say yes, particularly when that little voice on your shoulder says, this is not going to be useful to you. Don't even bother. Don't even go. Or, oh, I got to do this one more time. I really, really, really don't want to. That's when the magic is going to happen. So you push through those negative initial vibes and you'll find gold.
Yeah, yeah. And particularly if you ask people for help with the push, right?
Oh, absolutely. People don't realize that, that wonderful, warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you can help somebody.
Right.
When you ask for help, you are giving that gift to somebody.
Right, right. It's actually an immediate reciprocal. Immediately, when you ask somebody for help, if they're not a total monster, they're going to be delighted to help. Yeah. Delighted. I tell people, you might know this as being in the movie industry, so to speak, in the video industry, but there's a lot of people who want to help for things just so they can get their names in the credits.
Yeah.
This is why the credits are so long.
So give them something that needs to be done that they can't do wrong.
Yes. Yes. And they're happy to help. They're just delighted. Not only not only physical help, like helping with the kids or taking care of bookkeeping or something like that, but even answering questions.
Right. Or can you take a look at this and tell me your honest opinion?
Exactly.
I mean, honest opinions are so valuable. They're more valuable than the pat on the back when you're feeling bad.
Right. I just sent out a document to a friend of mine and said, I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. And I sent it out and she's going, well, your formatting is all wonky. I'm going, no, my formatting is just fine. Well, she pointed out to me that the new version of the graphics program I was using was mucking up the conversion to PDF. Ooh. I didn't know. I was expecting what I saw was what I was getting. Yeah. And so, boy, was I glad I gave that to somebody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Developing a new website, make sure you look at it on somebody else's phone.
Right. Right. Or get somebody else to look at it and punch the buttons because there's things you would never have thought of.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So who were some of the people? How did you deal with some of the negative aspects of it?
The more you fall down and get up, the more you realize it's not so bad. Falling down is not so scary. It's not so bad. So just surviving enough rejection to get to the point where it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right, right.
And being able to pay attention when somebody's giving you moral support, rather than constantly looking at it bad. So I guess some of the way that I dealt with adversity was that I had a very negative mother. So she'd always see the bad side, the downside to stuff first. So just in the natural teenage rebellion, I would look at all the good stuff first.
There you go. There you go. Didn't buy into
that. So, you can turn lemons into lemon pie, lemon cookies, lemonade, lemon zest. Yeah. Little fairy houses for fairies. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes, there's all kinds of things to do with lemons. They're wonderful. So, Mary, here's a bonus question for you. Yep, I didn't give you any advance warning on this one. If somebody showed up for you who you said, oh my God, I can't believe that I get to do this with this person, what would that be? Or you would go, yes, that is exactly what I love to do. Your whole brain lights up with all of
If
the.
someone showed up with a check and said, do a documentary film on some non-traditional thing women were doing, whoa.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that would just light you
You know,
up.
my one film was about women pilots, but I would love to do something about women motorcycle riders or women truck drivers or, you know, women in the oil fields.
Right.
But I have to get paid.
Right. So somebody who wants to make a documentary on those, and there's Mary, just call her. Her contact info will be there. And actually, speaking of your contact info, we're going to have links in the after notes, in the show notes. And do you have anything special to provide for our audience?
I have a couple things. One is most people in business need to do more networking, right? And we've been in this digital networking space for a long time. So I'm Mary Scott. I have the information. You can go to maryscott.info and you'll see links to all kinds of virtual networking.
Awesome.
So it's a calendar of events I throw up there for our public service.
Nice.
People can find me at businessriff.com. And I like to use improv to help people improve their business. So one of the most fun things I do is have people throw me challenges and let me riff on it.
Nice. Yes, this is why I knew I could survive. I could surprise Mary with a bonus question. She's good with it.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mary. Thank you for giving us your wisdom, your experience, your wonderful sense of humor. I love it. Thank you for giving that to our audience.
Thank you so much, Sue. It's been fun.
Yeah. And thank you to my audience of the sweet sound of success.
What are your dreams for your business? You know what drives me crazy? Really smart business owners denying their talents because they've been taught it has to be hard, because they've been taught that they don't deserve their gifts, that they're not worth anything. They've been taught that their gender means they can't express their genius. I'm Sue Wilhite, and I want you to have access to your genius. I want you to go out and rock the world with your genius. So I created the Call to Action Coaching Program. It's all about getting to the heart of you and what you've got to share with the world to make a profitable business that thrives and allows you to make a difference in the world. Click the link to sign up for the Call to Action Coaching Program today. Don't let your genius go unnoticed.